And it was such a personal headline. I've been seeing it everywhere. I'm talking about yelling at our kids because it's something as a parent, you know, that happens, and certainly I do. So the question is, how often do you yell at your children?
New research from the U.S. and the U.K. shows that yelling can be just as harmful to children as physical or sexual abuse. So we want to bring in Dr. Tara Marie Stay-School, who has a background in neuropsychology. You're also a mother, too. And what was your reaction when you heard about this study saying that it's just like abuse?
Well, I think for most of us, it's not surprising. You know, we've all had experiences where people have yelled at us, and oftentimes that experience feels, you know, much more harmful or even more enduring than other experiences that we've had. So I love that the research is backing this up now.
Because it's something, I saw one of the things, you know, it's like your most favorite person in the world when you're a little child, and all of a sudden, like, they turn on you, and it's so jarring, and it can be, you know, and the power's not equal. And as a parent, sometimes we just lose it. So it's really difficult to remember to how to step back and not do that.
So true, so true. It's a really difficult thing as a parent. And the thing is, you know, we're all going to yell at some point. It's just minimizing those moments and then being able to come to our children afterwards and repair.
Speaking of those moments, here's an example. This is the show Everybody Hates Chris, where the mom is yelling.
Chris, how many times do I have to tell you to quit leaving this yo-yo on the floor? What are you trying to do, kill me?
I forgot where I left it.
Well, will you remember when I fall down the steps and break my neck?
Sometimes it felt like all my mother did was yell at everybody.
Tanya, close the door. You trying to freeze the whole house?
Okay.
Drew, turn that mess down. You trying to make everybody in the house go deaf? Hey, get your feet off my table. Julius, pick up your drawers. Do I have to do everything around here?
So what are your thoughts on this scenario?
Yeah, well, for some of us, it might look familiar, right? So there's some assumptions that this mom has, that she has to do everything, she's responsible for everything. That's a tremendous amount of pressure. But when we constantly talk to our children and our family members this way, as our children grow up, we become the voice in their heads. And that's why I think it's so important for us to really think about how we're talking to our children about themselves.
I think part of it, too, is my mother would identify with this. It's that I have to tell you over and over. I've said this so many times, you're not listening when I say it calmly, so maybe I can get your attention by showing how frustrating, you know, it is and how upset it makes me.
Yeah. One of the things that's worked really well with my sons is, instead of yelling, to say, okay, I've asked you 3 times, I feel myself getting frustrated and angry, I don't want to yell, so could we do this now? And oftentimes that kind of puts things over the edge for them, and weirdly, it's as much of a release as if I were yelling. It's like I identified my feelings.
Sometimes even I'll whisper or something, that's the thing. Let's just look at this scenario with a dad.
I will not referee!
Jack, I think you've upset your mother, so why don't we just go on the scouts and let her rest a while? Why don't you just lay down and you rest a while? Now look what you did.
It's where the mom is getting caught. She has to sort of referee in between, you know, the stepfather from a boy's life. And that can be a really hard place to be in as well. So what do you suggest in that sort of a scenario?
Yeah, so we're part of a blended family. I have a co-parenting relationship with my boy's father and then a new partner. And so what we see in this clip is the father's yelling at the son, and then she's finally coming in over the top and yelling at them. And so this is a really difficult place to be in. So a couple of things. One, I try to take responsibility as the biological parent for any type of discipline, so I'm not putting that on the stepfather or the bonus father. And then she's yelling at both the father and the son in front of them. It would be better if she could have a conversation with the father off to the side.
One of the, we remember pain as the negative things we disproportionately remember. So there's like a theory that it takes saying something 5 nice things to undo the 1 bad thing, after we've screamed it out and said it.
Yeah.
How do we, I think it's also not just the volume of what we say, but it's the intention. If it's a put down or something that just sticks in your craw for the rest of your life.
Yeah, you're so right. So what happens is when we have experiences that are emotionally charged, where someone's yelling at us, saying awful things, hurting our feelings, those experiences, because they're so emotional, they get stored in our brain in a different place. And so we're more likely to remember experiences that are emotional, which is why it also takes, to your point, 5 positive experiences to balance out 1 super negative experience.
And it's an important rule to remember. Okay, I think next we'll have one from a dad.
I don't even like you anymore.
Get back here, young lady. Hey, I'm talking to you. Hey, young lady, get back here, young lady.
No, you can't tell me what to do. I don't have to do anything you say.
Yes, you do.
Why?
Because I'm your father, that's why.
So what?
Don't you yell at me, Gertrude.
I'll yell at you all I want. Blah, blah, blah. I'm not moving to the stupid city.
All right, that's it. You are moving to the city, and you're gonna like it, and that's the end.
I hate you. I hate you. I wish you died, not mommy.
I hate you right back.
Gosh, how many times have you heard that with every parent's had that exchange where, and it like hurts you so much where they're like, I hate you. And it's like, how do we not make that worse?
Yeah, so the first thing to remember is that our children don't mean it. And so I was talking with my younger son, and I said, hey, is it okay if I tell this story? There was a time he was really angry with me, and he said, you're the worst mom in the world. And I looked at him and I said, at least you didn't say I was the worst mom in the universe. So sometimes just remembering to bring some humor to the moment and to not respond to what they're saying to us. We are still the parent. We are still in charge. So it's very important we don't go down to our children's level.
And some of that's probably taken a second before you respond to give you that time. Because some of it's just a reaction, like Karen was saying, you just want to react.
You just have to remember the power is so unequal.
Right.
Like we feel like we're feeling this viscerally, but it's like we have disproportionate power over the smaller humans in our life.
That's right.
Makes sense. Okay, we have one last one.
You're about the biggest fool I ever saw. It's my job. It's my responsibility. A man is supposed to take care of his family. You live in my house, fill your belly with my food, put your behind on my bed because you're my son. Not because I like you, because it's my duty to take care of you. I owe a responsibility to you. Now, let's get this straight right here and now before I go along any further. I ain't got to like you. Mr. Rand don't give me my money come payday because he like me. He give it to me because he owe me.
This scene like ripped my heart out. You know, that whole August Wilson, he can just get to the heart of it. It can be so heartbreaking on that one. So how do we not cause that kind of damage?
Yeah, so something that's been really helpful for me as a parent is to ask myself, when I feel like losing it, is it worth it? And we think about the number of memories that we have from childhood. Maybe we have 5 or 100, but we don't have a lot of memories from childhood. And so I don't want one of my kids' memories to be me yelling at them.
What's that 10-10-10 thing?
Oh, yeah. So we ask ourselves, is it worth it? And then we can say, okay, is it worth it for me to yell? And is this going to be important for me to do? Is it going to be meaningful in 10 minutes? In 10 hours or in 10 weeks? And the answer is almost always or pretty much always no.
Or in 10 years where they'll be, you know, because we repeat the same patterns. Thank you,
right.
Dr. Tamara. We really, really
Thank you.
appreciate it. And it's important, just hit the pause button.
Thank you, Dr. Staysel.
We appreciate it.
We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.